Okay, so I just asked you to list as many forms of energy as you can and see what you came up with. Kinetic energy, yep, energy in motion. Shh, ladies. Solar, wind, fossil fuels, right? Solar, let's see if we have hydroelectric. There's a new one. Nuclear energy, fission and fusion. Hydroelectric, solar, wind. Any new ones? Geothermal, there's a good one. So lots of different forms of energy. Now, this chapter we're going to talk about how we, physical energy, ATP, there's chemical energy, I like that. Thermal, heat energy, magnetic energy, mechanical. So there's all types of energy. And that's the whole idea, is just to get you thinking about changing from one energy type to another, because that is what this whole chapter is about, how we get energy from that very active and energetic sun down into chemicals that we use in our bodies to make all of the processes of life happen. So today we'll look at the type of energy that's used in cells and the source of energy, how an organism metabolizes that energy and how that's related directly to the carbon cycle. We probably won't get too far into the cell today, but we'll start to hint at some things that are coming up next week. And I don't think I'll finish Section 1 notes today. I think we'll stop and finish our lab, and then you won't have any homework that way too. Yay, right? Okay, and we'll really make it a kind of a laid-back week a little bit. So organisms require a constant source of energy. We know that. You have to keep eating, right? You can't go more than a few days without eating, or you die, or you cease to metabolize energy. We understand that. So energy is needed for organisms to maintain homeostasis, and there's that fun Latin word from earlier in the year. And remember, the homeostasis is that process of maintaining a stable internal order and balance, even when the environment changes. So we just experienced some extreme cold, had a few days off. That was fun. Tell me how you maintained homeostasis. And I don't mean your clothes. How did your body do it? It was very cold out. What happened so that you didn't go out of balance or you didn't disrupt your homeostasis? What did you do? You tell me. It's okay to be wrong. I'm all right with wrong answers. I did. I went ice fishing. Yeah. Oh, it was cold. Yesterday I didn't do so hot. The day before I did pretty good. No, that'll happen. Yeah, that'll happen. That's happened to me. Up north, Hale, Long Lake. So you guys have seen that lake and you don't even know it. It's on a Kid Rock video. Did you know that? Isn't that funny? Yeah, that's the lake he was on. That's where they filmed it, Long Lake. Isn't that funny? Gotcha. So let's see. Turn on your heat in your body, right? I'm not talking about slept. Okay, hibernated, right? Or like the bears. Bundle up, warm blanket. We had this long conversation my wife and I did about hibernating. Like, how did that evolutionary adaptation occur? That was like our long conversation on our drive back the other day from a swim meet. That's what two science teachers end up talking about when you go on road trips. Like, what would have happened to accidentally have hibernation occur? But then we realized that like dormancy happens in all types of animals, right? Like amphibians. And so it's not that weird. It's just unique when it happens to mammals, right? And she has a biology major and a chemistry minor like I do, so we're pretty similar. Shiver? Yep. Your erector pili muscle contracted, right? That's what gives you goose pimples. Goosebumps. Yep. A little bit. You got these little muscles that attach to all your hair follicles. You got a little muscle attached to each hair, and the follicle, not the hair. And when it pulls, it actually pulls your skin tighter and shut, and it pulls that hair up, and it basically makes your skin crunch up. Okay, so your pores shut. What happens? Yeah, that's why your hair grows, because that erector pili, when it contracts and relaxes, that hair gets pulled and relaxed, and it stimulates growth. Yeah. Put warmer clothes. That's also why boys have more hair. Part of the reason, because the muscle thing. Not as much. I would explain to you more about the difference between men and girls, but we are not on that chapter, and I think you got to figure it out. Okay. I'm worried about Katie over here. Bundled up. All right, we're moving on. So, a brief light moment there for, I got to go back, don't I? Yeah, sorry. So organisms use and store energy in the chemical bonds between organic compounds. So this chapter is about how we get energy from the sun, and then we excite molecules down here inside of our cells, and how that changes, well, not our cells, plant cells, and how that changes other molecules to store energy from the sun in something called glucose. We'll talk more about that later. But almost all of the energy in organic compounds does come from the sun. I say almost because there are different sources of energy at the very bottom of the ocean, geothermal vents and things like that. But inevitably, they all did come from the sun, right? Big Bang, the whole 9 yards, you get the idea, right? Okay. We're part of the same solar system. So photosynthesis is the process by which plants, algae, and some bacteria use sunlight, CO2, and water to produce carbohydrates and oxygen. Everybody say photosynthesis. How many of you have heard that word before? So 2 of you are hearing photosynthesis for the, I don't believe it. Okay. So we've all understand that photosynthesis is taking sunlight energy and making energy out of it. Okay. Oh, it's okay. Hey. Some people were born in a cave. Yes. Well, people, like cavemen. There we go. Yes. Everybody has heard of, get it back up there and leave it there. Not me. I'm not sarcastic. Maybe a little. So organisms that are able to perform photosynthesis, like plants, are called autotrophs. Auto means self. Troph means to feed, like a pig or a farm animal, right? So these are self-feeding organisms. We understand this from earlier chapters. Remember talking about the energy pyramid, autotrophs, all that? Okay. So these make organic compounds that serve as food for them and for almost all of their other organisms on Earth. If you think about your dinner last night, every part of what you eat either came from an autotroph or something else ate the autotroph and then you ate it. So, like a plant. Okay? So you can eat salad. That's eating the autotroph, like spinach. I eat spinach almost every day. So, you like spinach? Baby spinach, like the leafy stuff? It's like salad. No? You just replace the bad lettuce, like the iceberg lettuce, with spinach and you're good. So, you can eat that, or you can eat like cow, right? You can eat the cow that ate the spinach, right? That would work. But it all comes back down to the autotroph who got energy from the sun, right? So if we don't have plants or photosynthesis, we cannot get energy. We do not have the ability to do that yet, we'll say, right? Because maybe someday. Who knows? I always say yet because science always finds a way, seems like. So sometimes it causes a lot of damage, but yes. So I know there was something I was going to have you do, but now I've completely forgotten that. You ever do that? Walk in the other room, think you know you got to find something, then gone. Just had it happen to me. So organisms that cannot make their own food must absorb food molecules made by autotrophs, eat autotrophs, or eat organisms that consume the autotrophs. Now, food molecules that are made or consumed by an organism are the fuel for its cells. So what is our fuel? Food, right? We get that. Everybody in here has ate at least in the last 2 days. I know that. I have to say 2 days because I will have somebody say, I didn't eat today. And I'll be like, yeah, you ate in the last 2 days. You'd be passed out, right? Okay. So It seems like there's always one person that wants to play the devil's advocate and say, I didn't eat today. And I'm like, yeah, you did. So, all right, yes. You can. That's what I said. You probably wouldn't be here, though, if you hadn't eaten in a couple days. You'd probably be passed out at home, right? I've gone a couple days without eating solid food. Wasn't very fun. I wrestled in college. I had to wrestle 165. This is a 185-pound dude. Not supposed to weigh 165. But I would once a week. So cells use these molecules to release the energy stored in the molecules' bonds, and the energy is used to carry out life processes. So here's the question, or the statement. Finish this statement. All chemical bonds store, everybody say energy. If I break bonds, I release, everybody say energy. So what you're saying is, if the sun, if the sun can break bonds on Earth, it will release energy. Can the sun burn your skin? Is that breaking bonds? Yes. So it can happen, is what I'm saying. Okay. Can the sun burn and cook a steak if it's hot enough on the pavement? Yeah. So it can actually break bonds and proteins and change their shape. So the sun, how are you doing? I'm continuously having to talk louder. I don't know why, but it's like a mystery. We need. I could what? I don't think that's going to help. Okay, so in a little bit. So you guys, ladies, you can't talk. Okay. So the sun, it comes down to Earth in the form of waves, right? Wavelengths, rays, yes. Okay. Some are ultraviolet, some you can see. The visible light spectrum is, between 400 and 700 nanometers, right? You guys remember that from physical science? Okay. We'll remind you later. Don't worry, you don't need it just yet. So these wavelengths come down and then they disrupt things sometimes. Sometimes they help things. So if I have a way of collecting that wavelength, I can grab that energy, break some bonds, release energy, and if I don't let the energy go, I could perhaps make another bond happen and store that energy in a new bond. Does that make sense? That's all we're doing here. I say all, it's a lot more complicated than that. And you'll find that out. But I don't ever want you guys to lose the simplicity of what we're actually doing. So the metabolism involves either using energy to build organic molecules or breaking down organic molecules in which energy is stored. So either I'm breaking things down or building them up. Altogether inside of me, all the food I break down, all the proteins I make of my own, is indeed my metabolism. Now organic molecules do contain carbon. Therefore, an organism's metabolism is always part of the carbon cycle. You guys remember drawing the carbon cycle out? Respiration and photosynthesis, was that part of what you were drawing? Yeah. So energy from the sun is converted to chemical energy in an organelle called the chloroplast. Okay, so this is where we make glucose at, chloroplast. They contain the green pigment. Everybody say chlorophyll. I know, it's a little loud. I got a kid's project printing out. I know. Yeah, I'm here all day. So that's the second thing they printed today, so it's a good idea. I should put it in there. And maybe I will. So organisms extract energy in glucose molecules. Now, glucose molecules, you guys all go, oh, I remember glucose. That's an easy one, right? You guys remember glucose? Oops, you don't want to see that yet. That'll depress you. Okay. So glucose, if you've forgotten, is this: C6H12O6. Gesundheit. Now, through the process of cellular respiration, cells make the carbon and glucose into stable carbon dioxide molecules and produce energy, right? It's good stuff. We like energy, don't we? We walk around all day. Without energy, you die, so I guess it's okay, right? So energy is also released to you and used to make ATP. Takes a lot of energy to make ATP. Even more if you make 2 TPs. 3, I think it's a tribe or something, isn't it? An organic molecule, this is the main energy source. Everybody say adenosine triphosphate. Say adenosine. I'm sorry, adenosine. Triphosphate. So adenine bonded to a ribose sugar, then bonded to 3 phosphate groups, is the source of all of our energy. It is a nucleotide. Everybody say nucleotide. Remember, nucleotides are what make DNA and RNA. This is just one very special one that only is this small ATP molecule. Sean? All right. All right. So let's do something together. I think for photosynthesis, I need to change colors. I need green for that. Right? You guys need to find a spot, a very good spot that has a nice open space in your notes. So trees and plants and algae, all these green things on our planet, they have a very special ability to harness the sun's energy. What do you have to do to a plant every day or it dries out and dies? So you're saying plants like water. Okay. That's water, right? We good there? H2O? That means I have 6 H2O molecules. I'm balancing the equation. Do you have to have it balanced? Yes. So plants also like something else that we breathe out. What is that stuff? CO2, right? Well, it's just for simplicity, let's make it the same. It actually is. It's not for simplicity. Now, if I add these two together in the presence of the sun, you know what's kind of cool? I am the sun of Craig and Deb. This is my parents. The sun.
Oh, so they're good there.
Yeah, see, isn't that fun? See, girls can't say that, but I get to say that. It just sounds important. It's like saying I'm Batman or something. Right? I'm the sun. Who did? Oh, yeah, I was messing with him earlier. Yeah. I can't come up with new ones every hour. I try. That was a new one today, though. That was my fun new one. Yeah. Oh, sometimes I think a funny one. I tell them to my wife, and then she'll yell at me. That's not funny. All right, so what I'm saying is plants, if you water them, if they have water and they have CO2 in the air, obviously there's CO2 in the air, in the presence of sunlight, something will happen to make sugar, right? C6H12O6, what's that? Glucose, right? Better write that down just so you don't forget. Remember, that's glucose. And plants make this other thing that we really need. What do we have to breathe in? Oxygen. And just to make it easy, better make it 6 O2s. So let's just make sure everything's balanced. Let's count all the oxygens. I have 6 oxygens here. I have 12. 6 times 2 is 12. So that's 18 on this side. So that means I have 18 oxygens here. Let's check over here. There's 6 there. 6 times 2. Yeah, we're good because 12 plus 6 is 18. So I got balanced over here. You don't have to write this down. We're just making sure. So 6 times 2 is 12 hydrogens, right? So there's 12 hydrogens. Okay, let's make sure there's 12. Oh, yeah, there's 12 here. Good deal. And what else am I missing? Carbon. 6 carbons here and 6 there. We're good, right? So is my equation balanced like that? Oops, I don't know what I was doing there. What in the world am I trying to do? Carbon. Okay. So you see how both sides are balanced? That's why you got to have 6 of them. Otherwise, it wouldn't be balanced. Okay. So this is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is how plants take water and CO2 in the presence of sunlight and make glucose, sugar, the basic molecule that everything on the planet needs to make energy. And a byproduct of that they let out through the stoma of their leaves is oxygen. So they don't want oxygen in their leaves. It actually is harmful to them. You guys ever hear of something called OxyClean? Yeah, it breaks things down, right? And so having too much oxygen around is actually caustic to plant tissue, so they want to get rid of it. We're built for it. Well, kind of. Parts of our body are built for it, is the best way to say that. Okay? Now, when I say us, can we do anything that I just talked about? No. No, we cannot. So we need this other thing called cellular respiration. Everybody say cellular respiration. Take a deep breath in. What's in there? Well, it's mostly nitrogen. It's like a trick question. But there is oxygen in there, right? We can't do anything with nitrogen. It's N2. We have to go through nitrogen fixation. Remember that nitrogen cycle? Kind of? Okay. But what is in there that we need is oxygen. So 6 oxygens. So in the last 2 days, have you ate glucose? Yes, or you would be passed out on the floor on your way to dying, right? Okay. So we've all ate glucose, sugar, in the last 2 days. Okay. Not yet. No. So the oxygen we breathe in and the glucose that we eat are the reactants, the things that enter into this process. Breathe in, eat, it's there. Breathe out. Oh, I'm sorry. Take a deep breath in, put your hand over your mouth, and breathe out. Do the breath check. Breathing okay? It's after lunch. Might not smell so hot. Okay. So what was there? What do we feel instantly? Heat, right? So we know energy was spent. Does that make sense? So we know that something happened to our glucose to release the energy. Yes? Yep. You're feeling the warm water is what you're feeling, but yeah. Yeah. Because you're letting off heat. All spent energy is released as heat. Okay? So if you were to retain all the energy that you eat, you'd be like thousands of degrees, right? You'd be like the sun. I am a sun, but you'd be like the sun, right? Okay. So just think about that. You could not keep that much energy in you. It's too much. Remember, you only store 10% of what you eat in your body at one time? Remember the trophic levels? Same idea. You have to get rid of that energy, and we do that in the form of heat. So you're constantly, if you stand next to somebody in a room and you put a bunch of people in the room, does the room warm up? It doesn't? It doesn't? If you go to a sporting event, it does. Somebody's playing with me. All right, that's the person I'm talking about, whoever you are, your little devil's advocate boy, whoever you are. All right. Yeah, like that is not needed. You don't always have to go opposite of what teacher asks for just to do it. I know, I get it. I'm like letting him know, like not indirectly, but kind of directly at this point, that it's. I know. So he likes the attention. I think, yeah, I know. He's attention deprived. You have an attention deficit. You need my attention. I get it. Okay. So here we go. I give you my attention. Don't worry. At lunch, Monday, zap. Okay. So, all right. I don't care. I'm going to bring you there anyway. All right. So, everybody breathe out. We feel heat, right? What else is there that you know is there? I heard it. 6 CO2 and 6 H2O. Very good. Because you feel the water, the moisture. go out in the car right now, slam the door, put 2 or 3 in there, and wait. It's going to fog up, right? Water is in the air. And then I'm going to do this. I'm going to separate this because you release energy as heat. Okay? I'm just abbreviating it, obviously. This is energy. I know how to spell. I'm not from West Virginia. They can probably spell energy there too. That's mean. Okay. So, are we all good here? How about this? Take a look at these 2 equations. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to memorize them. 30 seconds. Shh, don't talk to your neighbor. You better have them written down. Shh. Hush puppies. Shh. Sean. It is the same equation flipped around, so really all you have to do is remember one, right? Oh, it's just the only thing I changed is the energy, right? That's it. In the first one, the energy is the sun. The second one, the energy is given off as heat because I broke bonds. Okay? The sun broke energy or bonds in CO2 and reformed it with what's in water, okay, to make glucose. And then in cellular respiration, your body, and we'll talk more about this later, there's certain enzymes that break this glucose molecule apart to release energy so you can do reactions, and then heat is given off. Okay? And you have to replenish your energy because this is a dead-end road, this heat thing. This doesn't go in a circle. The energy doesn't. We give it off as heat, and then it's gone. We don't destroy it, but you can't just take heat back in the form of glucose. I can't eat heat. It'd be kind of cool if you could, but we can't eat heat. We need to go back to the autotroph to get more glucose, or something that's ate the autotroph to get energy. Yes? Okay. So I'm going to have you guys do something. No talking to your neighbor. Everybody's got it memorized now, right? Not yet. We're almost there. Oops. I got to get off the screen. I would like you to write down first, after you be quiet and don't talk to your neighbor, I would like you to write down the full equation for photosynthesis and label it, and the full equation for respiration. Please do that now. Oh, I'm sorry. Flip your notes over. Flip your notes over. Hide them on yourself so you can't find them. Flip them over. Flip them over. I forgot to have you do that first. Yeah, it's hard to write. It's got to type them out. It's tough. You can use the equal sign for the arrow. Yeah. That's okay. Oh, you tell me. Show me what you remember. It's okay to be wrong. Otherwise, if you weren't wrong every now and then, there'd be no point in you being here. It means you knew it already. Right? Okay. People got the wrong idea about school. You're supposed to be wrong a lot. What? Yeah, you're doing good. You are doing good. That's a hard thing for me to get. Like I ask my daughters, what'd you get wrong? And they look at me and they don't want to tell me. But I really want to know because I want to find out what they learned, right? And make sure they did learn it. And not just got it marked wrong. See, we focus on the wrong thing, don't we? We should focus on the wrong thing. That's a brainful. That's what we're trying to avoid. Please, best you can. Yep. So if I got a 3D printer and some robotic stuff and an exploratory lab in the library, would you guys use that on your own time? Would you? If I put a 3D printer in the library and some software where you could build things, Would you guys use that? Some of you? You can do it. You can either build your own or download stuff, or they're doing it for their projects, but anybody can just go in there on your, not for school, just to go. Yeah. Yeah. Would you guys do it? But even if 10% of the population did it, it would be worth it. Anything you want. You can do that. That's fairly simple, but you can do that. Yep. You can do that.
Really? Like a real one that actually goes in your belly button?
I'm sure you could. You could design it and build it. Yep.
Oh, wow, guys.
See what we're coming up with here. Yeah, it's just plastic. Let's see here. See where we're at. Oh, we got the right one, I think, right off the bat. Yay! Photosynthesis. Oh, no, this is backwards. We got water on the wrong end for photosynthesis. This one's right. Yep. Okay. So a lot of good. So when you walk, you guys, this has to be in this class as basic as 1 + 1 is 2 in math class. This just has to be like, duh, Mr. Mason, I get photosynthesis. And not that energy is collected from a plant by the sun. That's where we left off in middle school, I know. Now you need to understand it as, well, photosynthesis is 6 waters, 6 H2Os, added to 6 CO2s in the presence of sunlight will yield C6H12O6 and 6 oxygens, right? So you guys need to kind of understand that in your brain, just kind of keep that with you, because this is really as simple as this chapter gets. It's not that simple, I know. That's why I'm trying to tell you. This is kind of where the rubber meets the road in biology a little bit. Okay. So we're going to stop here, and I want you guys to get your labs out. You can go.